Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I will show you how to correctly insert tables and figures into your table of content. This is an important skill for academic report and assessment, and getting it right can make your work look more professional and easier to navigate. I will walk you through the process step by step so you can apply it confidently to your own document. So my previous video, I showed you how to insert a table of content. So this is a typical dissertation structure where it contains 5 chapters. It has a cover page, declaration, dedication, acknowledgement, or having Roman numbers, and also table of contents. So let me just format this a little. So let me include table of content and also use the tab key and then type in pages. And then I have my first chapter here. So I have inserted some tables and then 3 tables in my chapter 1 and also for my demonstration, purposely for my demonstration. And also chapter 2, I have in there some tables and then a figure. And also in chapter 3, no tables, no figures. Chapter 4, I have in there some tables and some figures. So let me start with numbering my tables. So now I have some tables in my chapter 1, as I've said earlier. So what I will do is I'm going to number these tables based on the chapters. So here for chapter 1, I have, I think, 3 tables. So let me just click on References tab and then click on Insert. And here change the label to tables. Then I click on New Label. So I'm labeling my table based on the chapter. So here I just say table 1 means I'm in chapter 1. Then I click on dot, then I click on OK. So it gives me this. Then I click on OK here. I close the gap. Then I just label it. So let me just give it the name as Introduction 1. As well, I come to References, insert caption. It gives me 1.2. And then let me close the gap. And then I type in Introduction 2. So this is how I do my table, list of tables, list of figures. So just follow these steps and then you'll be fine. So this as well, References, insert caption, it gives me 1.3. Then I add my colon and then I just label it. So let me just close this gap. Then the same way I go to chapter 2, how many tables do I have? I have 2 tables, right, in my chapter 2. So the same procedure. I come in here, References. Then I click on, I cannot use 1.4 because now I'm in chapter 2. So New Label, and then I type in 2 point. And then I click on OK. And then here, let me just give the label as Overview and then close the gap here. And then we come to this side as well. Insert References, insert caption. It gives me 2.2. Click on OK. And then close the gap. And then let me just give this types of encryption. The next is chapter 4. I have 2 tables as well. So References, insert caption, New Label, and then table 4 point. And then let me close it and then write in here the label as Accuracy plot. And here as well, references, insert, it gives me 4.2, yes. And then let me close the gap. And then I type in loss plot. So obviously I'm done with the tables. So let me move on to my figures and then start numbering them. I have no figures in chapter 1. Right. So let's say I have a figure in chapter 1. Let me just copy this figure into chapter 1. So let's assume that I have this figure here. Let me just paste it. And then I want to start my numbering from chapter 1. Because in some cases, you would have some figures in chapter 1. So the same way, come down. Right. And then go to references, insert caption, and change the label to figure. And then you can select new label and then type in figure 1 point. And then it gives you 1.1. And then you give it a label. So you describe it. So let me just give it types of encryption. So let me close this gap. Let me go to chapter 2 and then also identify this figure and then go to references, insert gap. It gives me 1 point, figure 1.2. I want it to start from 2.1. So here, new label. So I type in figure 2 point and then I press OK. And then I close the gap, colon, and I type in types of encryption. And now let me move to chapter 4. This is my first figure, which is the accuracy plot, references. And then here it gives me figure 2.2. No, I want it to start from 4.1. So figure 4 point, then press OK, close the gap. And then type in accuracy plot. And the last one should give me figure 4.2. So OK. And then I come in here and I type in the loss plot. So as I've managed to number my figures and tables, let me generate a list of figures, list of tables based on these numbers. So I go to my table of content and then I type in here list of tables and then list of figures. So normally I prefer having my table list of figures on one page and also list of figures on another page. So here the same way I can go to insert page break, have this moved onto the next page. Then I put my cursor here and also move this onto the second page, the next page, which is VII, that is 7, right? Good. So now I need to now generate my list of tables. So I go to references, then I locate insert tables of figures. And here, because I labeled my tables based on both figures and then tables based on my chapters. So I need to come to tables and select table 1 and I click on OK. Just need to do it one after the other. Right, so it populates all the tables in chapter 1. Then the same process, you go to insert tables of figures, and then you do the same thing for table 2, and then you do the same thing for table 4, because there was no table and figures in chapter 3. So the next one is table 4. So you can see there's a gap. So to close the gap, I just click here. Look at where I have my cursor and press the delete key on the keyboard. The same way, I just put my cursor on this and then delete key so that it closes the gap. So I've managed to generate my list of tables. So let me do for list of figures as well. So the same way, good. I come to references, insert, then I select figure 1, which means that if there are any tables in chapter 1, it will populate that. The next is chapter figure 2, which means all figures in chapter 2. And as well, let me do for the last one, which is figure 4. Yeah, so figure 4 as well, I have this. So the same way to close the gap, delete, and also here, delete on the keyboard. So the next stage is to apply my style. That's my heading 1 to my list of, so that I can add it to my list of tables. So I apply this to heading 1. I give this list of table heading 1, and also list of figures heading 1. Now the next stage is for me to now update my table of contents. So when I come in here, I say update field, and then select update entire table. So now you can see that my list of tables, my list of figures they've added up to, they've been included into my table of content. Right. So if I want to go straight to my table 2.1, just press the control key on the keyboard. It changes the cursor to anchor. Then I click on it, and it takes me straight away to table 2.1, which is the overview. So that brings us to the end of this video. You now know how to properly insert tables and figures into your table of content and to improve the structure and presentation of your report. If you find this tutorial helpful, do not forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment below if you have any question. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.